My name is Aniq Dcruz from the group Tel Aviv 2026, and this is my major assignment video. My student ID is 10581872. So today I'd like to talk about the hardware. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the two specific hardwares that are used for these two separate companies. Firstly, I'd like to talk about Toyota. One of the specific hardwares that they use is something called a stamping press. So what is a stamping press? Toyota uses a stamping press to transform metal sheets into their desired shapes that can be used for the body parts of the cars, the bonnets of the cars, or sometimes even the engine of the cars. These machines, they apply extremely high pressure that can bend metal with great precision. With the right measurements, they can produce large numbers of the identical parts efficiently and consistently and safely. And it is much cheaper compared to manual labor from actual humans. After talking about specific hardware, let's talk about application software. Application softwares are just as important in order for a company to run smoothly. For example, Toyota uses an application software called SAP/4HANA. It is used to integrate and manage a business. For example, it processes finances, supply chains, and productions in real time so that Toyota can get a better idea on their standing point. And it can also help improve their efficiency and future decision makings that can help benefit them and the company. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the specific hardware that is used at CVSKL, and one of it is called the ventilator. A ventilator plays a very crucial role because if someone were to have an accident or if someone were to just come out of surgery, they will need some sort of way to have transported oxygen into their lungs, and the ventilator plays a very crucial role because the ventilator pumps controlled oxygen into the lungs and makes sure that there is constant airflow at the trachea. A pipe will be stuck down through the trachea into the trachea to make sure that oxygen always enters the lungs. And it is very critical for someone's recovery, and in someone that is in critical care or on life support. That is why ventilators are very, very important. I'd like to talk about the application software that is used at CVSKL. CVSKL uses a Mindery Benevision central monitoring system, and it is used to track live vitals, oxygen levels, and blood pressure from patients. Since there are over 100 patients at the hospital, doctors and nurses cannot be there 100% of the time. So what they do, they have the Mindery Benevision central monitoring system into the nurse's dashboard to have a live view on all of their vitals, oxygen levels, and the blood pressure. So if, for example, if one of the oxygen levels were to drop for a patient, or any blood pressure were to drop suddenly into a very dangerous level, the nurses and doctors will be notified in real time, and that is the importance of the Benevision central monitoring system. Lastly, I like to talk about communication platforms. Why I believe communication platforms are very important is because it is to communicate. And this communication platform is used by both companies, Toyota and CVSKL, and it is called email. And I'm sure you are very familiar with it because not only are they used in companies, but they are used in universities as well. It is important because it helps to communicate with one another, and email allows us to access all kinds of things. For example, we can exchange files, texts, large files, no matter how big the size. And for example, if you were to have a company, email is very important in order to exchange ideas. And then if you would like to propose any collaborations or any meetings, it is important to communicate within your own company, within your own colleagues. And it is important to communicate with your customers too. And for example, at a hospital, if we were to schedule appointments, it is important to communicate using email too. Thank you so much, and that is all for my major assignment. Thank you.